you so much, Steve, for joining us. Everybody, my name is Gretchen. I am the director of our volunteer programs here at Habitat for Humanity Central Arizona. We're just so excited to be able to have Steve here, one of our house lead volunteers on our various new builds in the Valley. So, Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So, Steve, you've been involved with Habitat for some time here, but how did you initially become involved in what we're doing here?
Well, I've been volunteering with Habitat for a little over 9 years, and really I just made it, I'll just say, part of my retirement plan. I've always told people, if you're going to retire, you need a plan. You don't want to sit around and wonder what you're going to do every day. So before I retired, I had actually volunteered a couple times with Habitat, but I just said, I'm going to make it part of my retirement plan. And probably at the time I was thinking more of something to do rather than really knowing the mission of Habitat and I'll just say the personal benefits of volunteering. Okay, so I retired, I went online, took the volunteer orientation, just started volunteering, and just really enjoyed the work and being able to give back. And I kind of made a pest of myself, and I just got to know some people, got on some email lists, and just started volunteering more and more. Was out on a site one day and was kind of voluntold I need to be a team leader, yellow shirt leader, so I was. And about a year later, I was voluntold I was going to be a house leader. So I've been a house leader for, I don't know, I'll say 5 to 7 years, something like that, which I love, and just keeps me coming back to Habitat.
You know, my dad always says, if you're going to retire, you need to retire to something, not from something.
Right.
And I think you're kind of a perfect testament of what that looks like. I think a lot of our volunteers out on site make that kind of their own practice and their own rule of thumb as well. Why do you continue to stay with us here? Why do you continue to volunteer?
Well, there's quite a few reasons. One, I just love doing the work. I've always been a builder, DIY kind of guy. So I like doing the work, learning to read blueprints and, getting into details and planning. And so I love the work. One thing I'll say is Habitat is my second family. I've made so many friends. They've supported me through some kind of hard times, some health things with my wife and whatnot was big support. They've supported me personally. I had a whole bunch of green shirts, staff people helped me re-roof my cabin a few years ago. They were more than willing to do that. But then I think one of the biggest things obviously is just giving back to the community and to Habitat's cause, meeting the homeowners, which is probably the best part of the build. And it just makes me feel good,
Sure.
Giving back and doing the work and helping others.
Yeah. Habitat is a big family. I think our staff feel that as well. And we just love all the people we get to work with and the volunteers we get to see out on site. You guys are incredible. And the work that you do, the things that you do, truly incredible work. So
well, the volunteers and the staff, everybody is just fabulous.
So with that, you said that working with homeowners is one of the most memorable parts of it, but what would you say is maybe one of your most memorable builds or one of your favorite memories that you have being on a Habitat site?
Well, there's probably 2 builds. I'll say the first one, I think, was the first house where I was the house leader. I had done kind of a co-house leader before, sort of get my feet wet. But we did a rehab in Peoria with a single mom. She had 2 young boys, and we went through, during the course of the work and the remodel, we kind of went through her changing of jobs and all about being a single mom, and really got to know her. And I think the mission, if you will, of Habitat really came home with the dedication, because she had both of her boys speak, which was hard for them, obviously, being, I'd say there were maybe 12 and 8, something like that. But I remember the one of them said, well, he said, like, I told my mom this morning before we came here that I was really happy we had this new house because now we'll have plumbing that works. And that kind of got everybody, you know. But it really just drove home, you know, why I'm volunteering, why we're doing this, to help people that need, you know, safe and affordable housing.
Absolutely.
So, and then the other one was a new build in, I guess it was in Phoenix, Glendale, and another single mom, and she had one of her sons was in high school, but I really remember that because both she and her son just were really involved in the build. And they wanted to learn how to look at the blueprints and know what we were doing and how to do it. And I want to help do this, you know. And she was always trying to talk me out of selling my truck to her because she really liked my truck. But at the end of the build, she had a party for not only her friends and family, but our team as well. And just their involvement, and they were both so great and everything. So those two are probably my most memorable builds, I think, right now.
It's amazing when we go to those dedications, we hear all those stories, the impact of them, and I think so many people attribute affordable housing to, of course, having safe, decent shelter, but we don't realize the impact that it makes on the kiddos. And to hear their story and to hear how it impacts them and to have them sometimes even come back later and also be Habitat homeowners, it's truly incredible experience to watch that happen and unfold.
Definitely.
So thank you, Steve. And I would honestly say, you know, Steve's been with us, 10 years,
10
we
years
said,
roughly,
right?
Yeah.
And if anybody is questioning, should I get out there? Should I get my feet wet? I say, yeah. I say, do it. Get out there. We always need help on the construction sites. If you're curious about how you can get involved, much like Steve was, go to the website. Get plugged in on the website. We'll get you on a site. We'll get you in a restore. There's plenty of opportunities. And I think something that maybe steers people away might be, well, you know, I don't know how to hold a hammer, or I don't know how to build a home. You don't need to. So we just encourage you to get your feet wet, get out there, and like Steve, spend another 10 years with us.